definitely abuses the low dex nature of Koji. So we see two Kojis in Southeast Asia, and we'll see a kind of a different take on it. I especially expect to see a lot more bow from Tiger as compared to Hinwei in the winners final set we watched.
And already that clicked on the GCD light from Sphynx. That was a little bit greedy. You get caught by that side light. You know, I love bow side light because it always hits a little bit more above the ground than you think it does. It's not a good anti-heal. It doesn't catch your, you know, jumps all that well. But sometimes bow side light comes in clutch.
That's definitely right. I mean, you have to be very, very careful on where you're whiffing and kind of what space you're occupying versus the bow. But we see some weapon tosses there, and the gauntlet's in hand, but immediately some weapon tosses away. That's curious. Somehow finding more success on the unarmed, though, the haymaker to cover the dodge into the ground. The recovery almost connecting, but a very smart weapon toss from Tiger. And man, this is very, very fast-paced. I really can't keep up.
Okay, gets that end light. Nothing else going to be coming out of it quite yet, though. The GC end sig, not enough to take it off the top either. Tiger backing up a lot. Sphynx keeps on going through the high recovery, using the weapon toss to force out the jump. Gets the downer to be able to catch Sphynx from going behind as well. But as Bo, the question is, can you KO? How do you KO? The answer is D-Light, my friends. But you're not going to be able to D-Light if you're stuck off stage and you're eating a cider from Sphynx.
Okay, it's interesting to see what weapons Sphynx is playing into, and I feel like we're seeing more of the idea where maybe you don't want to see a scythe in this game, number one, but a landing side air from Tiger is able to close out that stock. Sphynx now getting weapon starves. You're picking up a scythe, I think, is cycled, but we will see the bow and whiffing quite a bit, but no, it's just more gauntlets from Sphynx, who's willing to play this very movement-based weapon into a weapon that covers a lot of space, but also has some pretty tough dead zones to deal with.
Okay, looking for the sider, unfortunately, only really leaning into the side when you go for it. The downer is going to be able to connect, but gauntlets, they have that one last secret recovery option in the form of cider. Neutraler comes out. Sphynx looking for the side light. D-light into the neutraler as well, going to be coming out. Nice true confirm. Nice good damage. The cider just to be able to shove you off stage. Really
avoiding these rising aerials from Sphynx is Tiger right now, who's looking to snipe out a landing there. Has a guarantee for the first time in this set. Gets the downlight into the recovery to close out that stock. And yeah, that's what you have to be worried about versus Koji is they're very willing to hit buttons and cover space, but also you have to be very particular on what you're trying to whiff punish, because it can easily go sour there, especially when you see that GC downlight to punish you for trying to take some space versus a whiff move.
Downer comes out. Gonna be jumping off the stage looking for the downer. What an optimal
what was
punch.
That was a crazy side sig and a very clean punish from Sphynx. I cannot believe we saw that. It's insane.
Yeah, I don't know what Sphynx's intentions were, excuse me, Tiger's intentions were, but they did not actually end up succeeding in their endeavors. So at the moment, though, Sphynx looking for his side light, not gonna be able to find it. Tiger doing what Bo does best, which is to sit at mid-range and then like dash in place until 1 out of 10 times you decide to go for D-light. That's Bo neutral, baby.
Yeah, it's definitely the closest to a fishing rod. You're definitely fishing for those moves, but nonetheless, you're doing the same kind of on scythe here, who finally gets a downer off another dead zone from one of the hitboxes on the bow. But yeah, okay, going for the big side sig there. That was a crazy read attempt.
I don't feel like I see that side sig connect from Koji much at all in this kind of
No, yeah, it's yeah. Everyone wants it to hit, but it just doesn't.
Space in the game, does it?
It covers less than his normals do, so it's definitely not something that you want to see on a bow signature, I feel like. Okay, let's see the juggle there. I thought we were going to see a recovery, but the weapon toss comes in.
Oh gosh, Tiger in a bit of a nasty position right now. Sphynx looking for that end light. Not going to be able to find it. Tiger.
No way.
Oh, the end sig didn't connect. It was so close.
You gotta stop sigging. The sigs are not working for Tiger, as Sphynx is able to punish them almost every single time. The end sig doesn't connect. The end light hits, but I feel like throwing away your juggle off of a read that covers exactly one option, it's definitely very, very scary to go for, as Sphynx is able to be just a little bit more stable in that advantage state. I feel like we're seeing Tiger really swing for the fences and missing really, really hard for it.
for sure. Yeah, you mentioned it best. You're missing, you know, quite a bit for some of those side sigs in your advantage state. I don't understand it very much. I think it's one of those signatures that might have gotten power crept a little bit. I mean, if you hit it, you hit it. But it's definitely not the least exploitable signature in the game, and it's also definitely not the biggest hitbox signature in the game either. So we'll see what happens in this next game. Tiger opting for the sword, making the most out of that end light, side light, and then just tries to dash in there with an unarmed end light as well.
Oh, taps it in.
That hit?
yeah, it did hit. It hit very, very deep in the hitbox. I'm surprised that fully connected as well, and it sent even into the wall there. Oh, you know what? It's because Sphynx did a turnaround ground pound there. I just watched the delay on the mainstream there. You do a turnaround ground pound, so it's able to cover the very deep hitbox. Very clean start from Sphynx, who's now running away with this lead on the Scythe, who is just completely checking the defensive game on Tiger. Sphynx is really playing well right now.
Okay, the side just gonna be putting Tiger off stage, sweating. You got one jump, you got one dodge left. Okay, the reversal is huge though. Able to get the neutral. Actually, in my opinion, putting Sphynx into not that bad of a position to be able to land back down onto the stage. Tiger is struggling to KO. We need to find this KO. D-Light into the side is finally gonna be able to do it.
These kind of scramble situations are very, very scary for Tiger, I feel like, who is just getting kind of pieced apart by this Scythe so far. Wow, that was a crazy
again. Why is it so active? It feels like Soil Dash attack sometimes, right? Where it's like, oh, this goes on longer than you think it should always go. Tiger picking up the Soil now. Sphynx has a massive lead.
Yeah, it's also the most plus on hit normal or light attack in the entire game, so you have to be very, like, not only is it very active and deceptively long range, but also if you get hit by it, they can combo you into literally anything. So
yeah, it's one of those moves that you get hit by, you put your controller down, you put your face in your hands for like a second, and then you put it back up and you're like, oh wait, they didn't even go with the combo because I was still, you know, stuck in the animation of it all. But right now, Sphynx gonna be looking for this,
a lot of six right now is what he's looking for. He's looking for anything to stick, but hasn't really found it there. And another GC side sig, and we're just seeing some crazy reads come out from Sphynx, who has so much of a lead. I feel like, why not, right? Another
yeah, at this point,
connect.
you can do all kinds of unconventional options that Tiger is just straight up not ready for. You get that end light, you're able to go ahead and successfully shove Tiger off stage, Scythe in hand. Ooh, big width, does give Tiger a bit of an opening. Whipping that D-Light as well, jumping back on, end light, recovery, Tiger has a chance, Tiger has a shot.
Alright, here we go. Very, very low, or very, very high in the damage, I should say, and comes in there, definitely, or sorry, a Nair comes in, not enough to KO, but it will set up some pretty tricky spots. We'll see if a comeback is in order, but it doesn't seem to be so there, as that end light comes in from Sphynx to close out that game.
Yeah, Sphynx is continuing to look quite good here, especially in advantage state, especially when it comes to consistently denying Tiger. And I feel like, again, Tiger might be struggling a little bit with this bow, excuse me.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of what a lot of bow players are finding themselves struggling with, is just like, versus these weapons that are so strong in the meta that are able to really punish my dead zones in my hitboxes, it's really, really tough to find activation. And I feel like Koji Sigs are like, on paper, it's cool to have them because it's like a bow.
You said it yourself. But bow is bottom tier and needs to get buffed. Thank you, PJ the Puff, for advocating for you know, my weapon. I appreciate
Dude, it's tough because it's like every time I get on the mic with someone that plays like a bad weapon, they're like, oh, this is it, PJ the Puff, you know, but it's true, like, bow sucks right now. I feel like bow's definitely like in a spot that's like kind of tough versus a lot of the matchups that you see a lot in this current meta. Not bad on paper, but in practice in this meta, very, very tough.
It's so difficult. Sidelight should have the same range of Axe D-Light. Okay, excellent. Sphynx able to successfully touch the wall, maybe now? Excellent.
Another
you make it back
really?
on
No.
for a little bit. You wait out the end light.
Tiger's interesting because Tiger will go for like really crazy aggressive options that are like 1 in a million to hit, but in spots like that where another ground pound is the aggressive option but the good one, we don't even see it. We see like some pretty interesting spots to want to play very patient, but maybe it doesn't matter as you have another edgeguard sequence on Sphynx who picks up a scythe here, and this is definitely the weapon that you're most scared of because you've been seeing Sphynx really run away with games with that scythe, but that downlight into recovery does close out that stock, and we could see a reverse 3-0 if Tiger can continue to pick up on this sword.
You get that end light, you get that side light. Unfortunately, side light at the edge of the stage, kind of the most difficult to connect though. Chase dodging down, looking for a downer. Tiger, relax. Hello?
The weapon toss actually connects there, and we see a dash through end light on an attempt to cover that space. And yeah, you're seeing a lot of SIGs come out from Tiger and a lot of coverage, just looking to really snowball this lead and get as much damage out of it as possible. Potentially stock the end light sends off stage for Scythe and, or sorry, for Sphynx, I should say. And you can't get an edge guard there as Tiger is just too willing to swing out, not respecting the edge guard at all.
Sphynx gonna be looking for that side. Who gets a side light, not gonna be able to catch that dodge out. Tiger just opting to dodge in place. Okay, chase dodging down. I think that was a misinputted, you know, dash afterwards. But that's okay. Comes back on with the recovery. Tiger is still holding on to this lead. Whoa!
Okay, that was crazy. The weapon toss down into the ground pump, picks up the weapon, dashes back to center stage, covers the dodge in with the SIG. That was pretty sick. We finally see a signature connection on the bow for Koji, and maybe it's a sign of what's to come because it's looking very dominant here in this game number 3.
Oh, side light, D light, weapon toss up to be able to catch a jump and then hopefully pick up the next weapon, but Sphynx just able to get in between the and able to go ahead and break that up a little bit. Tiger coming in with the unarmed end light, eating a cider. Oh boy.
Yeah, this should be a pretty easy game for Tiger to confirm. I feel like unless you allow like some crazy edgeguard sequences to happen, you just have so much control on Koji here, who's able to cover so much so quickly. The recovery comes in, covers the attempt to get back to center, and Tiger starts his long trek to a reverse 3-0. We could see it here, but we'll see how Sphynx adapts. Getting into this game number 4, we'll see how this It's definitely going to be interesting to see how Sphynx is able to adapt to this very new playstyle from Tiger, where Tiger is playing into Tiger's strengths. I feel like this is what he's good at, is playing very, very fast and very, very smothering. We'll see. We'll see, though. Who knows?
He was able to get his bow advantage. He was able to get his win condition, right? Which is, you know, you're trying to lead somebody in the defensive options after you do like something like a side light. And I also feel like Sphynx got caught on a couple of different GC options.
3, 2, 1,
And so we'll see what happens in his next game. Tiger, that was such a good adaptation. That was just a different beast.
It was it's definitely tough, especially when your opponent kind of switches like their playstyle so much into like a very like far end, right? Because if somebody starts playing really campy or very, very aggressive, it's hard to kind of snap yourself out of the previous games. And I feel like this is the exact scenario that Tiger will kind of punish you for, having that little mental, you know, like, okay, I don't know exactly how to deal with this yet, and you'll get reverse 3-0 for it. But Sphynx already putting up a much better showing in this game.
Tiger backing off a little bit once again. Sphynx able to get the side light, able to get the recovery. He was sweating on the way back down, only finding a side sig unsuccessful as well. Neutral and keeping up this juggle. Sphynx has taken so much damage, but this is just about anybody's game at the moment.
There to disrupt and get the weapon off of Sphynx, who is now in a really tough offstage situation. Tiger following there, didn't swing to the last moment, realizing, okay, you're gonna have to do either a jump or a dodge to get back to stage. I'm gonna wait for it and then cider it, and Tiger is able to confirm with a very clean edge guard. But Sphynx on the Scythe, I feel like we haven't seen a lot of Scythe in that last game, and we'll need to see a lot more moving forward in the set, because it was kind of their way they were able to confirm a lot of these KOs off stage. We'll see it there with the side light into side air. Didn't find enough to KO, but still in a pretty good spot there. As I say that, though, giving up a lot of stage control in favor of going for a deep edge guard. The side air does close out that stock, though.
Yep, gets sent at a nasty angle. Tiger has no hope of making it back onto the stage. And now we'll see what he's going to be able to do here. Being nice and slow, being nice and gentle, picking up that weapon. Sphynx. Okay, just eating an Ensig. Tiger sliding off with another one.
Cannot believe the signature whiffs again from Tiger. Gets sets up these really crazy scramble situations, but nonetheless, both players looking to seize control out of it. The nair comes in and a down air sends off stage, going for the ground pound there. Didn't find its connection, but a weapon toss from Tiger gets immediately flipped as you try to go off stage.
The tragedy of bow D-light. It's so difficult to bow D-light because it pushes you forward. It's so difficult to edge guard with bow D-light, Tiger. This is exactly what happens. It's tough being a bow player, okay? That side light, okay, gonna be looking for that end light unsuccessfully. Sphynx looking to threaten and land with that down air, but what Tiger is doing amazing is not staying on Sphynx's diagonals and instead just staying directly below. Right, because against Scythe, you're always afraid of them landing against you with a down air.
Okay, this is a big downer into the ground pound from Sphynx to tap in that stock and potentially deny a game 5 here. You definitely want to do so, especially because you have so much of a bracket to continue forward in, but Tiger is going to do everything in his power to force this next game. Nice little side air there, and I like this playing very vertically here and finally landing and getting a nice connection off of it, jumping over the downlight, but gets hit with the end light again. A chase dodge comes in, but overall, I feel like Sphynx definitely keeping up with the pace a lot better right now, playing more vertically and forcing Tiger to swing first.
Sphynx being so aggressive, looking for this next opening kill at the moment. They're getting so close to each other. The end light comes out. They're trading different end lights. They're so even in damage, PJ.
Exactly the spot you want to be in here. If you are Sphynx looking to close out this set, I feel like this slight damage lead can definitely snowball into something greater if you can get a nice little extension off stage. But Tiger finds some control on the center of the stage with these down lights and catches with the side stick and the weapon toss immediately as well. Let's see what the edge guard is. Avoiding the bow side air, that's a big opportunity, but I feel like Sphynx getting a little too aggressive trying to flip the situation unarmed. Didn't pick up a weapon in time. Has to be very careful because Tiger has the sword in line and is going to look to close out this game here. Has the bow online. Can you find the last hit to get the edge guard? The side air sends off stage. It's looking real tough for Sphynx to get back, but does find the wall. I cannot believe it.
Oh, but the dodge!
Oh my goodness.
The dodge and the sideline to be able to kick you off. Tiger able to go up and around, picks up the sword, eats another side air to the face. Sphynx,
what are we doing?
What are you doing? Pick up that weapon.
Pick up a weapon. Stop going off stage.
Charge a
this
little
is
bit
the
too
conversion.
long. That was the optimal play. It's optimal, but that was a little bit too long of a charge. You needed to immediately let it rip, but I think D-Light...
Well, recovery, what did we end light for? We missed the end light into the corner, and the recovery does find a connection, and it does close out the stock. I thought we were going to see the recovery a couple seconds earlier with that whiff from Tiger, but nonetheless, Sphynx is able to clutch it out. That got real scary in that game 4, but oh my goodness, that was very, very clutch recovery to hit, and it finally mattered. And once again, you were saying how the bow